Excuse me. That is totally fine. My name is Sean, also known as the Outsider, also known as many other names. On YouTube, I am Mr. Sean Anigans. You can check out my stuff. Don't really post there a whole lot. Mostly focused on writing and creating my own brand new tabletop RPG system, and doing whatever I can to kind of exploit my nerdiness and make some money off of it. How are you doing?
Okay, now everybody watching can hear me. I apologize. Sorry. I've got a lot of stuff on this end, and after I did a tutorial the other day, I moved some of my audio settings around to make the video and forgot to put everything back, so I was going through this morning trying to check it all, and I guess I was still off on a couple. Let's see. Let's check in on our chat today. We have Unwanted Reaper, and we have Madwoman. If you are talking, I can't hear any of you. Now we can hear you guys. That's good. You can hear us. All right. I apologize for the little quirks. Again, I was trying to get that voice meter tutorial up for people who had a hard time with it and wanted to crumple up their computer and toss it out. You know. Anthony, how are we doing today? If you want to join, I would say go ahead. I sent another one out, but I can't get into my email right now to email it without lagging out my stream. So I apologize, Tim, if you are watching. Yep, there you are. That I can't get into my email right this moment while I'm streaming. So without further ado, let's see if I can't get back into the swing of things here and load up the game.
All right.
Welcome to the Great Debate.
All right, so you've seen this show once or twice before. Let's just get rolling right off the bat. Would you like to pick a topic to chat about?
Sure. Let me see here. Why don't we talk about, I'm a big proponent for education, so why don't we go ahead and pick college?
You qualify for a free 2-year degree based on income. What do you want to learn?
Oh, Jesus. Based on my income, I qualify for a free 2-year degree. Well, I mean, I guess I have to pick something that I'm going to be able to make money off of. I imagine this is probably going to be a loan type situation, which even for a 2-year community college is somewhere in the tens of thousands. So I'm going to need to make something to make that back. Probably either nursing or veterinary assistant, something like that, even though veterinarians don't really get paid that much. Maybe I could be an accountant or get a degree in some business management. That way I'd be qualified to lead someone up ahead. But at the same time then, that would mean that I'd have to find a spot on the business side of things, and that could be painful. That could be a while.
I remember hearing a few years ago something about Hillary Clinton doing a free college tuition or reduced college tuition or something like that to residents who were under a certain income threshold, but she listed that threshold at like $100 and something thousand per year.
I don't remember that part, but I do remember that's one of the plans that she had. I think it was her way of moving forward and kind of looking ahead to when, well, the 2016 election, when Obama's going to be out of office. But I believe she made that claim when Obama was still in office, and it was still supposedly a Democratic fucking house.
I believe it was just for New York State.
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, she was trying to make it so that residents of the state that was she the senator of New York or something like that? She was trying to make it so the residents whose family income was under, like, I want to say $117,000 or $127,000 for their parents would qualify for reduced or free tuition loans and stuff like that. It was a whole big ordeal she was doing, and just looking for more college stuff to talk about. It's like, okay, well, if you could go to college and you could get a free 2-year degree, what would you want to get out of it? And a lot of people are leaning towards all these social classes these days, and honestly, it's like, well, how many people are practical? What would be something to get into, and what would interest people, and what should be pushed towards if we were going to do something like this? And honestly, I would have to throw robotics right in there. It'd have to be something in robotic programming, repair, or design, because I believe that is going to be a large growth of our future college system.
I don't know that robotics is a 2-year degree, but I think that if you wanted to pick that up at like a community college and go into robotics at like an undergraduate school, or at like a full graduate school, then that would be a thing. But then, you know, who knows how much you're going to end up paying in loans for that full college experience.
Oh, absolutely. And once people get that, even if you were to get a free 2-year degree, that 2-year degree is basically, once you're there, just a stepping stone. The first 2 years, you're taking half of your courses are prerequisites or mandatories to get required credits before you can get to the next set of classes that you need, and you got to take them in order. So your first couple years, you're basically just learning the ins and outs, the basics, and the whatnots, and then you don't actually learn anything that helps you until you get into the 3rd year and 4th year, when you start nailing down specifics and teaching you the
exactly what you actually are wanting to learn,
right?
Instead of just the basics.
They take you right down into the specific area of robotics you're trying to learn. Okay, you're trying to learn actuation and motor control, or okay, you're trying to learn schematic programming and AI reverb thought or something. I don't know how that all goes, but the first 2 years are usually just a stepping stone. So anybody that finished that would be able to do like a repair job or an entry-level light job in a robotic field. But that's where I feel it should, I would be going if I were offered 2 years of college for free. I would go right towards a robotics job, because you're seeing so many more things come out running on a robotic technology or an artificially or programmed, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a new age robotic vending machine kind of thing. I don't know what they're calling them. One
last thing I would say is I do agree with Unwanted Reaper here, saying learn a trade, always good to have something to fall back on. As my closing statement here, I'd say that's probably very true, and it would definitely, thumbs up.
No, you can cock past the bell. That's just a general, don't go too much farther. You got to figure out a rough time to be able to talk about things. It's hard.
Sure, yeah. I would say, Mike Rowe, the guy who did Dirty Jobs and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, I love that show.
He was doing an interview a while ago and said that barely anyone is learning any trades these days, like plumbing or electrician or handyman or anything that would support the infrastructure of this nation. So it's much harder, I think, to justify not going for something like that. At least having something that you can fall back on.
Right. I'll agree with that completely. I have things to fall back on. It's just I didn't finish them up enough to be any good to me at this point. I'm basically using what I learned with my VOTech and college degree as I flipped it around into graphics a little bit as opposed to design. So we'll see how this does me. All right, we're back here at the board. None of the 2 invites I sent out joined us, so we're still on you. You can pick as many topics as we can handle today. I did about 40% of the jobs on that show.
Okay. Why don't we talk about... I think we'll go hot and then we'll go cool here, because I like being the opposite of a medicine. We'll go with... Let's go with sex. Fuck
sex. The newest topic is going to be the hottest one. Oh, this is very open. Very, very open. Rape is...
Oh, boy. All right. Well, I guess it depends on different definitions, but I would say that my definition is... I think it's better to say sexual assault than rape. I think rape is... you could say that, oh, this music is ear raping me, or this thing that happened to me, or like this job is like raping my soul or something like that. I think that it's more apt or appropriate to say sexual assault. You know, forcing yourself onto someone through violence or force or coercion of some sort.
But aren't they,
I don't think that...
Aren't they kind of two separate things, though? Rape is specifically, and it derives from an Old English word meaning to go in and take something. Rape is specifically, I think these days, to going in. It has to do with any sort of penetration. And sexual assault might not necessarily involve the penetration, so those two things could be separate. The problem is that, you, again, exactly like what you said, it's been so loosely used in some terms like ear rape that you have some people out there claiming you're eye raping me. So you have to kind of look at this term and talk about what it means and why it's changed and how we need to look at it to understand what people are saying. Because when you look at somebody, you're not going into anything.
Yeah. I think in like the same vein, like you could say that, you know, a bank heist is a rape of a bank. I mean, under those kinds of definitions, really.
Yes, you raped the money from the bank. You went in and took it. But that was the Old English version, as the word has come about from the terms of rape and pillage into ear rape, eye rape, and, you know, actual physical rape. But we're going to leave it pretty open so that nobody gets offended as to how we talk about this.
Yeah. One thing I would also say is that in a lot of instances of male on female rape, or even really female on female rape, I think it is, for lack of a better phrase, taking the power away from the pussy. Because that's essentially what you're doing, is you're taking the power and structure and control of vagina offers to males of our species, and you're basically taking that away and saying, no, this isn't quite as powerful as you think it is.
Interesting. I honestly think that it's been kind of opened up so that people can use it as an excuse to claim, what's the word I'm looking for? Why is it when I want to think of something my mind goes blank? To claim the persecuted would be a good word. Some women believe that no matter what they do, other men around them are so strong that they have that possibility that they could always rape them, and that causes the fear that leads them to living in persecution because they believe that rape is going to happen now, because we've surrounded rape with this, okay, eye rape and ear rape, and, you know, touching somebody is now rape and not sexual assault. And, you know, by conflating the term rape to mean so many things, you're taking away some of the power of the word for its current, well, what was current context of physical assault against a woman sexually or against a man sexually. And even in some countries, it doesn't matter. It's only against a woman. You know,
right.
It's really hard to discuss this term without offending people, because rape is bad. Because in our terms, rape is the sexual assault of somebody, or one person sexually assaulting another person. So, I mean, if we conflate that to eye rape and ear rape, and we keep using terms like this, it does take away some of that actual meaning that has been given to it in our current society.
We're onto something with that. Like that's a possibility, and if such a vile and heinous term is not necessarily abused, but like diminished in severity, I think it can definitely lead to some bad problems down the road. I totally understand and agree with that. It's just everything else.
Right. And it's hard. These are... I try to put things in here, again, that are open and can be discussed as openly. Okay, here's the term of the word. Let's look at what the word meant. Let's look at what it means. Let's look at where it's heading in its meaning right now and why. So...
Sure.
All right, let's clear that one off the board. take a look around and see what's going on in the chat. I'm not. It's not letting me join the Hangout. I don't know why. I know the links are all good today. I triple checked them because I popped in and out before I sent them out. I do not.
I had the same problem before when I tried to join. I don't know what exactly is going on with Google, but I mean, I was able to get in. I don't know what to tell you.
There he is.
Hey, how's it going?
Anthony, how you doing? Anthony is a returning member on our show.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Hello?
Yeah,
Right,
howdy.
okay.
All right. Hey, Anthony, you're just in time. Let's get this board to go back. There we go. My mouse is...
Hello?
Hello? You there? Can you hear us? We can hear you. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Excellent.
Would you like
Well,
to...
you
why don't
hear
you
me?
go ahead and pick the next topic?
Next topic. Ooh. What? WTF or FTW?
All right, so let's give some correlation, then I'll read the question. Apparently, in the last few days, the doomsday clock has been advanced another 30 seconds for the second time in a year. So, can mankind really predict their own self-decimation based on world politics?
I would say that they can, yes. I think that we are uniquely qualified to do so.
Okay. When this came up, the first tweet I saw about it that passed through my damn Twitter feed is something about we've been advanced 30 seconds to midnight, something like that. So I looked it up, and the world is 4.5 billion years old. And there's like 86,400 seconds in a day. And if you take 4.5 billion and divide it by like 86,400, you come up with like 5,300 years for every second on their doomsday clock. And my tweet back was with all that math, and I think we got plenty of time.
Well, I don't know that we have plenty of time, but I think that it's definitely possible that... I think it's possible either way. I just think it's more so... I think it's less of a clock. I don't think it should be measured that way. I don't think that's really accurate or appropriate. I think that it's more of a measure... It should be more of a measure of like the threats of nuclear annihilation, of that sort of thing, and then everything else, like us destroying the ozone or the environment or something like that and making the planet unlivable, that could be on a clock.
Yeah,
and I think that requires...
That's what I was kind of thinking the clock should be, is our own influence assisting in the destruction of the planet. How bad are we decimating the life around us, or how fast is the planet dying with our aid? And that's when I went to the reference of 5,000 years per second. But if you go closer and you look at the updates done on the clock through the Doomsday Project, I think is what it was called. Last year, they updated it to like 2 minutes or something like that, and they moved it another 30 seconds this year. So if you think, oh, well, if it moves 30 seconds a year, we're all dying in 2021, 2022 at the latest. So this is kind of almost like a scare tactic that the world needs to straighten their stuff out, is a way to put it. But I don't really see as government turmoil as it is right now really contributing to another war, because this has been happening for the last few decades in its own means and manner. So how are we really any closer now just because one more country has that bomb? There's still way more than enough to destroy the world many times over.
What do you say, Anthony?
I'm torn on this. I don't know if I don't think we can. Not really. There are too many variables to say that we can predict certainly when it's going to happen. You know, all you need is Kim to wake up tomorrow morning in the wrong mood and decide to throw one off.
You think they have the nuclear capability?
If they haven't, they're damn close.
All
I
right.
think it's just a dance, really.
Let's talk about that. I'll try and run this through what my thought process was on this. If a missile were to be launched, the United States is well prepared, well trained, and well ready, and I believe there probably is technology on our ships that we don't, as citizens, know is there. So I know of a military tank that can blast heat into a person to radiate their skin enough to cause them pain without actually causing or inflicting damage. So going on the assumption that they can send microwaves or other things, and how well we're prepared, if a missile were to launch and the missile's not flying faster than the ability of our jets, one of our jets will take it down. And I with the advancement of our armies and our military, I honestly believe we stand a pretty good chance of averting a certain percentage of a possible missile crisis.
I mean, yeah, that's what the whole Star Wars system was built for, but I'm sure we have something more advanced than that.
Yeah, the Star Wars system was supposed to be a three-dimensional missile tracking system with laser-guided missiles, but you can't really adjust for the trajectory of a missile that's programmed to maneuver, and that's what some of the new missiles are programmed to do. They're programmed to take into account wind variables and things around them and maneuver. But are the missiles being launched from Kim Jong-un nearly that sophisticated? Our planes should be able to take them down with a few flare shots, or whatever it is that they have.
My last statement will be that I think that it is just extra Russian surplus hardware.
Hey, we got another friend. How we doing, Tim? He's muted, but he's here.
To be honest, with a nuclear weapon, you don't have to be that accurate, do you?
No, you just have to hit something. But again, if a plane can traverse the speed of the weapon and we're aware of the launch, and the plane's launch shortly thereafter, intercept is highly possible anywhere in the world. And we have jets that fly at hundreds of miles per hour. So it is possible that we have the technology to overtake a missile in air.
It is possible, but then you're taking a wild guess at the trajectory of the missile.
That's true. But again, it all falls into the sophistication of technology versus technology. If the missile isn't as fast as the plane, and we realize the missile is launched and in the direction it is going, then we can almost catch up with it in certain circumstances if we're that prepared. Oh, look at that. What do we got here? The Dark Heart of Midnight. The Dark Heart of Midnight just subscribed. Thank you for the subscription. Interesting little laugh.
Thanks, Dark Heart. I'm sorry.
Is your what?
All right.
Is my sound coming through okay or choppy?
You're coming through just fine on my end.
It's coming through okay. It just sounds like there's some lag before you hear us.
Well, there was. I don't think there is now.
Cool.
Tim, how you doing?
I've got a video brewing in the background, so.
Oh, I'm doing good. Am I coming through well, right?
You are coming through just fine. You're just in time to pick the next topic. That's how everybody seems to be going today.
Alright, let's try television.
Television it is. Whoops. Mistake. Black and white, color, LED, OLED, VR. Where are our hollow worlds?
Supposedly about 15 years away.
Really?
Yeah, that's from estimates done by world scientists and stuff, about 15 years away. It's not going to be like fully interactable. Like, you're not going to be able to touch stuff, but it will be a holographic world.
Now, if I remember
I don't think
correctly,
we'll have.
Go ahead.
If I remember correctly, Microsoft sort of had the technology already, sort of.
Somebody did. There was a show done in 2016.
There was a rumor that with the Xbox, one of the Xboxes, I don't know which one, that Microsoft were going to release something with the Kinect, which projected their world into your living room.
Yes, but you had to wear the glasses. It was electronic glasses that were connected to the system that allowed the world to build in front of you where you were looking, but it also showed up on the TV. I did see that. That was early 2017. In 2016,
but it's sort of in the right. It's sort of going in the right direction now.
Right, and in 2016, they came out with a technology. I want to say it was some sort of specialized etched glass that the light fragments went through the etched glass and like 4 different angles. And when all the light came together at the specific lines, it started to create a 3-dimensional character. The last thing I saw about this, they were using it in an amusement park to create 3-dimensional holographic generations of small life-size dinosaurs. Somebody just donated money to me.
Whoa!
Whoa! Unwanted Reaper just gave me $6. Thank you so much. Wow! Holy! I don't even know what to say. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I hope you guys like the little gifts I've been slowly creating for Streamlabs.
My apologies there, by the way. Tim should have answered that first, shouldn't he, since he picked it.
It's an open chat, Tim. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I was waiting for you to finish. Yeah, actually, well, I worked at Microsoft for a while, so I know what you're talking about. Originally, it was designed for the 360, but it wasn't coming fast enough, so they bumped it up the Xbox One. And, well, I'll tell you, it looks horrible. You don't want to try it.
It looks horrible.
Oh, yeah, it's... I mean, A for effort, but, yeah, really, it's just so bad.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I know we're all thinking VR, or, Hollow Worlds, like, on Star Trek. Yeah, we got the holodeck, but that's way into the future.
Yeah,
it's not coming anytime soon.
And there is a natural follow-on from that question as well. Where's my bloody Matrix?
Does anybody remember the Stargate series? Stargate Atlantis series, to be more specific?
Yeah, I do.
In the basement of the Atlantis, there was a holographic room where you could hold communications. And it was basically, I think it was 3 lights refracting off the ceiling onto a hollow circle, and it brought an image up out of the circle using the refraction of the light.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should be there. That's where we should be, is right there.
I mean, we're not really that far off.
No, I don't think we are.
Well, the technology just isn't there yet. Yeah, we've got to go through as to how it would work, but that's so incredibly complex. I wouldn't say hold your breath, unless you can hold it for a really long time.
Oh, I love to look at technology.
I don't know if anybody here was a swim champion.
Yes.
Yeah, Steely Dan here happens to be a smoker. So I figure you got us all beat. At least you got me beat. Hey, after your bet. Oh, time's up.
I think if we did anything that was interactive holographic right now, it wouldn't be what people are expecting to see. It wouldn't be something you could reach your hand into. It wouldn't be something you could physically interact with. It would be still there for visual stimuli.
True.
Yeah.
I believe that takes us back to Sean.
Hey, let's go ahead and talk about. Let's talk about politics. That's always a good one.
Politics it is. Not my president in a movement form could be considered an uprising.
I mean, yeah, I guess, but here's the thing, like, there's a couple things attached to this. Number one is that in the Constitution there are, how do I put this? There are addendums in the Constitution saying, hey, if the government is too evil, or if we ever become like an English monarchy again, this is, this thing that we can do, we could take up arms and that sort of stuff. And that in this way, we would be able to take back our government and make sure that tyranny is folded in upon itself. But at the same time, it's hard to really argue with the fucking Abrams.
I know Anthony is not an American. Tim, I'm not sure about you. How do you feel about this? We'll start there.
Well, actually, I am an American. Yeah, and I don't know, I mean, I'm just thinking that every president ever has been better than I would ever be. So, yeah, I'm gonna want him out, but then I get to take over. I mean, who the fuck am I? I'm just some idiot.
I will let Anthony throw his in there before I interject with what little I have to say about Trump.
Well, I don't know where you guys stand, but I personally, I like him. I would quite welcome him as our leader because we've got a wet lettuce. Not my president in a movement form could be considered an uprising. It depends what your definition of uprising is. Like, you can have peaceful protests. Is that an uprising? Or is an uprising a violent protest?
An uprising would be a growing movement of people fighting against what they're trying to do. So this isn't a protest. Violent. It's just people standing up against, not necessarily with violence, would be an uprising.
No, because then every single, I think every single protest you ever get then will be classed as an uprising.
Yeah, I agree with Anthony here. I think that there is a specific contextual difference between an uprising and a protest. Like, plenty of people are protesting Trump. I mean, there was the Women's Walk or whatever not too long ago. That happened, and that was a protest, but I don't think I would ever call that an uprising.
So where would we have to put that?
I think the threat of an uprising does include violence.
So an uprising would be in between a protest and a violent coup.
Okay.
Almost. Go, it's bang smack in the middle there, because it's getting to that point where the populace are starting to become violent towards the state.
And in some spots that has happened, but is it big enough to call it an uprising? Is it big enough to? I don't
think it's big enough, and I certainly think it's, let's say, influence from outside sources.
Oh yeah, it's a little redundant, and I apologize for cutting it. It's a little redundant when other countries are saying we don't like Trump. You don't have to. I love no offense. No. I mean your government, not your citizens. I mean your government.
I know, mate. Trust me. I've on Twitter. I've had enough of a go against Theresa May and bloody Sadiq Khan, who's an idiot. I've had enough goes at them about Trump. on Twitter. They never answered, of course, which I don't expect them to. But no, I love Trump, partially because he is not a career politician.
Yes.
And also because he is willing to say exactly what the hell he thinks.
Right?
And he just doesn't care.
Right?
And he's like the ultimate troll. You know?
It would be a little better if he could do, you know what, I was wrong, I'm sorry, but, you know, shit happens. I would love to hear that out of his mouth one of these days.
Well,
somebody come up on a press response. I was wrong, shit happens.
There's an age-old saying, even if you are wrong, you never apologize to an SJW.
Yeah.
Because you'll never stop apologizing.
Jordan Peterson just said something about that on his last interview after the one that's trending right now.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Oh, it was.
Kathy Newman.
So what you're saying? 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 So what you're so what you're saying?
Yeah, Jordan Peterson could have said, "I love pigs." So what you're saying? Are women are all horrible? What?
All right, Anthony, it is on you to pick. Well, I guess it's on me to make the board show. There we go. Hi, Dark Sasuke. How you doing today? Mr. Shenanigans in chat. He ain't doing too bad either. Okay. So I am all caught up in chat.
Controversy.
Controversy.
Or controversy.
Send money to other countries to stabilize and rebuild them, or allow them to come here as refugee.
Send money.
I completely disagree. I think that
actually, sorry.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
Sorry. Yeah, go on.
I think that it shouldn't be a matter of trying to save them or that sort of thing. I think that from a U.S. perspective, I think that we should need to just fucking say fuck it and let them deal with shit on their own. If they aren't able to, maybe they get absorbed. We don't have to have like all these countries that are in this precarious balance. People conquer, people lose, people die, people win.
No, I agree with you there, mate. But in the context of the question, it was one or the other.
Oh no, it's fine. I like it being open. I'll take whatever opinions we can get.
Okay, I took it literally as one or the other.
You can read it however you need to, because however you see and interpret it affects your opinion on it, and that's what we're after, is how you are seeing things.
If I had a choice between those two, it would be send money to other countries to stabilize and rebuild them. The next best option would be, instead of sending money, because you can't guarantee the money is actually going to go to what it's meant to be doing, is go there and do it ourselves, which
is more money.
It's money, but you're sort of directly affecting where that money's going. So you can guarantee that's going to happen like that. But the problem with doing that is then you're seen as interfering, and it can cause more problems than actually fix.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is I think it is a problem where. And you saw this a lot in like Afghanistan and a lot of the Middle East as well. There's interference from both the U.S. and Russia and other countries as well, who all just wanted like a piece of the pie. They wanted either oil or people, or they wanted people to believe in a belief. And it's a bunch of people interfering in this one microcosm of a society where people, the Middle East, aside from like Saudi Arabia and stuff, it's not that technologically advanced.
No.
And it's easy for someone to go in and say like, hey, we have these magic devices that kill people, and they're really loud and scary. You should do what we say, or, you should take these things and do what we say and go kill these other guys or something like that. Or you should, the whole drug war and all that. What do you think?
Sorry, Tim. Yeah, go on, Tim.
Tim?
Well, we gotta specify which country, because, Syria, the situation there, it's not really working out so great for Sweden and Germany. They've got a bunch of Muslim refugees. Next thing we know, Europe's gonna be the next caliphate.
Oh, yeah.
But then in Iraq, when we were rebuilding them, it didn't work out so well either. So either way, you're gonna lose. I'm just thinking, well, whatever their problems are, their problems they'll solve.
So
Then they'll tell us how we're gonna help them. Yeah, sorry.
So you're gonna agree with Sean here, saying that we really shouldn't even be bothering with this question because it's their problem, not ours.
Well, it seems like our party is dropping the bombs. You know, do they need more bombs? Because we are really good at that.
Yeah, we are.
I think at the end of the day, they seem to blame the West, don't they? But I think to a degree, we are sort of responsible for destabilizing the area to a degree.
Well, that's our party. It's the destabilizing.
I don't think we had a choice, though, did we? Really?
No. At this point, everybody feels obligated to do something.
Yeah. But, Europe, I totally agree with Tim, and because I am massively against mass illegal immigration, because you just look at what's happening at Sweden. Sweden's dead. Sweden as a country is dead. You know, it's gone. It's just, you know, you got no-go zones. Germany's on its way to that point, to the point where women are, told not to go out jogging on their own at night.
Yeah.
You know, France is getting there. Italy or Spain's going to be next.
I think Unwanted Reaper has a point here. I think that, he says, I'm from the Netherlands. We do both for years. Nothing seems to help. First off, they should end the corruption on a global scale. I think that that's true to a degree, but at the same time, how do you determine, what is corruption and what is just like intelligence work that needs to be done that's just like Black Ops or something?
Well, speaking of corruption, that's an interesting question, because the whole FISA memo could show a massive, huge amount of corruption in the US.
Yep.
Sure, yeah.
You know, Obama could be in jail in the next few months.
Yep. Well, I highly doubt
it. So could Hillary.
I bet you it'll be brought up on something, and somehow some shit's going to happen. It's going to take them 3 or 4 years and a whole bunch of questioning, and it's just going to slowly try to disappear again. Because they've already started blaming it on Russian bots, like the next day. Oh, well, Facebook and Google and Twitter need to look into these Russian bots for us, like they did before, because we're betting the Russian bots did this, so you better check for us now.
Yeah. No, yeah. We know Unwanted Reaper said it. He said global. No, we know you said global. I was just using this from the US as an example.
I'm going to go back and read a few more of his text here. I don't hail from the US, but I don't like Trump, but still better than Hillary. I agree, only because of I'm not going to say, and I am going to say this is a very, very clear point. It was not being a woman that made Hillary unwanted. It was all of the shady stuff that she did and all of the weird things that she kept trying to push that would spend tax dollars that made me, as a tax-paying citizen, really not like her.
Well, let me say this for Hillary. If she was the president, Bill Clinton would be the first lady. First lady Bill, come on, how hilarious would that be?
You'd still be fucking Monica.
Would you have an influx of a sudden influx of female interns as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, 50-50. We'd probably have a few more.
All right.
I
you were
agree
good
with
on time.
Unwanted Reaper said there. If Hill Dog was president, I think we'd be at war with Russia, and I agree with him on that.
Oh yeah, we would have been at war already.
Not that it would be a terrible situation, but we would have gotten a few laughs out of it.
Yeah, a few. Very, very few, but a few more scares than
Some
laughs.
people cried, some people laughed, most were silent.
Well, I have to say, when Trump came into office and he actually went and gave them the go-ahead for the Moab, I was just like, seriously, just get it done and over with. Stop doing like 3 strikes a day. That's not needed. Just decimate them, let them know that we have power, and then sit there and watch them scramble.
It's not just that, it's like fucking... There was a press conference, I believe, had a bunch of his cabinet up, and literally all they did was just suck his dick.
I got tired of hearing about all the airstrikes and the CIA things in the Obama era, and you don't really hear about that with Trump. You hear, okay, he's authorized him to hit him and hit him and hit him, not this, covert stuff.
Yeah, it's done and dusted, isn't it? He decimated ISIS in Syria, hasn't he?
Tim, we are up to you
Was
to
it
pick.
Syria?
Yeah, well, no, wasn't it Afghanistan they dropped the Moab on, and then Syria they sent forces in? Or do I have that backwards?
I can't remember.
I have no idea.
It's been decimated anyway in one country, which Obama took forever.
Tim, we're back to you. We can hit this board one more time before the end.
Okay, let's do transportation.
Where is our Back to the Future tech making things fly and hover?
Yeah, let's go question. Because, what's the fucking, some fucking marathon man, walking around on my legs. Like, what are you? I'm the Queen of England walking around on my legs. I want to fly.
I want to fly.
What about the jetpack?
I don't want a jetpack. Have you seen somebody was working on an individual hover machine, and he's trying to get the motors just right. They also did one on that building show. I can't think of the name of it. Those 2 guys that would build stuff for stunts. They're trying to make a hover vehicle that's like these quadcopters you can buy and attach cameras onto.
Mm-hmm. And, well, it would definitely be cool to have.
Yeah, it would.
Because, again, what am I, some kind of marathon man? Walking around on my legs.
I mean, part of this is anti-grav technology, which is sort of like the assumption. Like, that's what lifts this thing up and lets it do its thing. But that kind of technology is so far off because we don't even understand, like, fully, like, what dark matter is and that sort of thing. So anti-gravity is such a foreign concept to us right now. And I think that some of that comes down to, like, the reduced funding for NASA. Some of that comes down to, like, Elon Musk and private investors and stuff. But I don't know. I mean, it'd be nice.
Some of the technology's already there. Hasn't Japan got a train which hovers using magnetic?
It's a mag rail, yeah.
Technology.
That's true, yeah. I mean,
that can only work in
that's just
confined
electromagnets,
situations.
though.
Yeah.
Right.
All right,
Yeah,
so,
to make like a hoverboard, what you'd have to do is lay like magnetic lines under the ground all over the place.
yeah, that wouldn't cause any problems.
No, not at all.
I think what we're looking for
Everybody
is
who walks by, their phone just gets erased immediately.
their phone, their heart stops, and their car dies. I think what we're looking for is that proof or disproof of the graviton, and Though in the 70s and 80s, we were in this huge flush of looking for the technological advancements and finding all of these new quarks and neutrons and protons and electrons and going smaller into the, what's smaller than the quark? I forget. But they started looking into all these things, and they're finding out new things about science, and everybody was like, well, yeah, there's got to be a gravitron, something responsible for maintaining gravity that we can figure out how to use and then have gravity in space and be able to do anti-grav. And that just kind of died off.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lack of funding, there's a lack of interest from the public, so people just... It's not making a lot of money. It's just making progress. And because it's not making a lot of money, people are like, you know, we're not going to get back on this investment. We're not going to make more money and buy our 15th yacht or whatever.
Tim, it sounded like you had something there.
Yeah, well, fine, helping's not gonna happen too soon. But whatever, we can forget about that for now. What about flying? Because, I mean, we already have the technology for flight. It's just not compacted.
Right. I don't think
fuel is the problem there.
Fuel consumption is a huge issue.
Yeah, well... Yeah, hey, I'd settle for a jetpack. Type 1 in the chat if you want a jetpack right now.
You hear that? Type 1 if you want a jetpack.
Come on, I can't be the only one to want a jetpack.
Oh yeah, go on then. I'll put a 1.
I'm trying to get to that right window. My mouse is still giving me quirky problems. I think the cord is going something.
Okay,
yeah.
We all want jetpacks.
Absolutely, everybody wants a jetpack.
Except for Pugba.
There is a guy, I want to say Arizona, who developed a jetpack. It has like a 20-something minute flight capability, and he has to most of the time leave it tethered just so that he keeps he keeps oriented to the ground properly. They're still working on it.
Yeah, I've heard about that guy in Sweden. He has a flight pack. He was jetting around all up in the sky up there.
Oh, yeah. The ones that jump out of planes?
Yeah. I mean, it only works for a few minutes.
Yeah, but it's still cool.
So it's not really too effective, but... I mean, you can't tell me. I think you would pass up the chance at flying around in that.
Absolutely.
There is one on that in theory could perpetually fly, but you have to be over water at the time.
Oh, the hydro...
the water hydro thingy, yeah.
It drags the hose down along the water, and it turns the water into hydrogen and oxygen and burns it off as you go. Yeah.
Really, I thought that was actually a pump just shooting you up into the air.
There is that one too, yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's...
we just haven't got a fuel source that's efficient enough, have we? Or
the problem is that when you include a fuel source, when you don't have a tether or a line to the fuel source itself has a weight, and then adding that weight for the fuel source, you then have to increase the amount of fuel you need to make that fuel source work, and you have to find that ratio where you have the right amount of fuel or the right amount of weight for the fuel versus your weight to be able to go the right amount of distance. And they can't really break a certain threshold without...
Oh, one last thing before we close out here. Did you guys... I know this was on Joe Rogan when he was interviewing the singer of Tool and Perfect Circle. They were talking about being able to teleport a digital message from Earth into the vast reaches of space, and that it's the first step in like teleportation technology.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that. That sounds cool. Teleportation technology, of course, was come up back in the 50s or 60s as a concept. I want to say in the late 80s there was actually a study done for molecular light travel through a warehouse. I'm not sure. It's been a long time since I read some of those reports. It was a scientific concept when it was added to Star Trek by Gene Roddenberry in the original seasons. And it was so cool to look at how they were trying to do this. And I guess you'd get a pretty accurate representation with like Willy Wonka when they converted the bar to the TV was kind of a good way to put it in that time. Besides Star Trek is that they take the light and transfer the light. That's not how the show showed it, but that's exactly like it. Your image to a light image is what really kind of needs to happen. But I'm not sure how that would all work. It's just so molecularly confusing because how do you transform matter or traverse matter against great distances as an energy? Because matter isn't an energy.
Yeah, I think it's all got to do with transferring it into photons, which is somewhere between energy and matter. And I think that's the big key there. But I don't know a ton about it. I haven't done a ton of research, but I just thought that was a cool thing, kind of side relevant.
It's always fun to watch the stuff that they're thinking about, if nothing else. All right, so let's hit this chat one more time. Fuckwad has a fear of heights, so he doesn't want a jetpack. Fusion, but that again would pull speed up the doomsday clock. Yes. Dark Suzuki needs help. The cat's got her. Okay. Somebody send help. The cat is attacking.
Wow, you need to bite that pussy back.
Speaking of fusion and speeding up the doomsday clock, if we had an antimatter matter reactor, there you go, that'd speed it up a bit and make a bloody fission and fusion explosion look like a bloody pinprick.
Yeah, that would, well, that's like sort of adjacent to what they're doing at
CERN,
the Large Hadron Collider.
Yeah, the CERN Hadron Collider.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they open up a black hole for a millisecond. Thanks a lot. I feel safe now.
They're really lucky that Hawkins radiation actually exists. Otherwise, yeah.
Right. That's the one where they measure the radiation through the depths of the water in the rock or something.
Hawkins radiation is it radiates faster than it can actually absorb energy, I think. So the mini black holes disperse before they can actually take hold.
Okay.
Or something along those lines. I'll have to read up properly on it. I haven't read up. It was ages ago when I looked at it. So.
There was also something they were finding that they could only measure once they collided. There was an atomic element or something like that was produced that they couldn't measure right there until it passed through the layers of the CERN laboratories and the devices on the outside picked something up. I'd have to look back and figure out what that was. But they found an element because it was stray or something. I'll have to watch that. All right. With all that confusion to some people who don't know that much about science, we're going to call this a day. Would you guys like to promo anything?
Sure, yeah. You can find my work on my new tabletop role-playing game system, Synthesis, at patreon.com/synthesize. That's SYNTHESIZE.
Feel free to throw that in the chat, too.
Absolutely, yeah. I will afterwards. You can also find my writing skills on show. I do like short fiction stories and stuff of that nature. You can find that at patreon.com/shortestfiction. That's SHORTESTFICTION. And I'll put both of these in the chat for you guys.
Awesome.
I do paid DMing. So if you're looking for a DM for your D&D game, Open Legend, Apocalypse World, anything like that, hit me up and we will schedule something together.
Cool.
Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend.
Thank you so much for joining me.
For me, I've got a gaming channel. It's called, well, it's just called Jake's Speed at the moment, but I'm going to change that. But I'll put the link up in the chat. It is there. Mainly Minecraft stuff. Just to be forewarned, I think if you open a new tab.
Oh yes, if you click. It hasn't done it. Hold on, for everybody that clicks the link in the chat, when you click the link, you go to the browser, whatever browser you're using, go up to the URL and click the very, very end of the URL at the right and press backspace. You shouldn't actually remove anything but an invisible character that prevents you from loading this page out of a YouTube chat. Just to make you all aware if you don't already know.
Yeah, I was about to say that. It adds like a %A, %F, %E at the end or something like that.
Yeah.
If you do see it. But yeah, but that's my link to my gaming channel. It's mainly Minecraft, but I've got some other stuff in there, like some old Mega Drive games.
I've peeked at your Minecraft a little bit. I've only watched one, but I was going to go back when I had some time to just sit and binge on a few shows. Tim, what do you got?
Well, let's see. I got this YouTube channel, but I'll let you know right now, it really sucks. I've only got one video that's actually me out there. The other two are just stuffed monkeys sitting around wearing a Batman shirt.
Alright, well, if you want to throw that in the chat, feel free.
Yeah, sure, I'll put that in there.
Alright, we want to give everybody an opportunity to promote themselves because it's needed. Alright, and with that, I want to say to everybody, I really appreciate everybody stopping by the show today. It's a little larger than I expected, but it still turned out really good. I hope to have some of you back again in the future. Thank you, Anthony, for joining me fourth time today.
Fourth now, yeah.
Yeah, it's been...
I'm going to have to start paying rent soon.
I know, right? And to the chat, thank you so much for showing up. And Unwanted Reaper, I'm going to have to throw something on somewhere in my details or something to give you a huge, huge thank you. Again, thanks for showing up, everybody. You all have yourselves a great day while I look for my music.
Bye. Bye, all.